Hey Bob again. It's April 6th, Friday. I'm just gonna do a little update. Been working on my car, and let's see. I've got my rear brakes basically on, and kind of interesting. Not too hard to do. A few little parts I had to get, and this area right here, the spring piece here, put that on, and I noticed that the bolt was going on into the frame here, the chassis. So instead of taking the spring off and reversing put the bolt on this end and the nut over here, I just undid it, took it off, and cut part of the bolt off, so it's basically the same. Looks like you got the same thing on each end, so it was kind of a quick fix on that. Got my shocks actually off right now, up in friend Dwayne's in Ojai. They were a little bit off center on the arm, so I'm having those straightened out, and getting ready to put on my brake tubing. And down here's some of my aluminum I'm getting ready to polish. And over here I've got my brake drum actually on, not tight but just on, and so getting ready to pretty much finish up the rear end. Next week I'll have the rear end done. I'm just waiting for a couple parts to come, not so much on the rear end, but here's some of my brass fittings and other parts down here I'm getting ready to use. I just put on my master cylinder here yesterday. Kind of interesting to do that. Not too hard. Been working on the front end. It's been a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle for me because I've never done this kind of stuff before. So I've got working on my brakes, and I'm waiting for actually over here in the box I've got some of the brakes ready to go in the front. I'm not sure. I guess these springs, for some reason, the guy powder coated them. I don't know why, but taking these up to my friends in Ojai to use some kind of a spring puller thing to attach the springs on the back of the brake shoes. And let's see, I've got some front end parts down here. I'm waiting for a couple parts that I damaged. Put something on backwards, and I messed up the bushings when I took them off. So I'm waiting for some parts to come from back east. Kind of a rookie mistake. I've got the idler here sitting ready to go, and let's see, I've got over here in the box, actually in the car, I've got some I forget what they're called, I don't know the terminology of these things yet, but connects to the idler, or connects to the tie rod part between this end over here, and it's a little elbow shaped thing that goes into a long rod on each side. So anyway, I'll have all that done next week. So I'm really shooting for having my suspension put together hopefully by the end of next week, and the brakes all put back on the car next week. And within a couple weeks, I guess, I'll have all the brake lines on, the gas line. I've got a brand new fuel pump that I can't find the right bolts for, so I'm taking those up to my friend in Ojai tomorrow, or actually on Sunday. So actually within, I guess by the end of April, I should have all my front end, or all the suspension on, the brakes, the tubing, and at that point I guess my next thing will be to get these wheels over here in the corner sandblasted, painted, get them on the car, and go ahead and buy some Dunlop bias ply tires. So get the car on the ground, or the chassis on the ground. And actually I'm working on another thing next week. I'm working on the steering box. Somebody took that apart. I got to reassemble that. Put in new bushing, or new grease, I guess, what do you call them? Forget what I'm trying to think of here. I forget what the terms are. But anyway, some parts inside there, plus some new gaskets and whatnot. So I got that on. I get the steering wheel put on. I'll probably install part of the clutch pedal. Get that put in. Got my over here in the corner, or on the shelf, I got my powder coated drive shaft, and got some new U-joints on there. Got this little heater thing here for the heater when I get to that point. I gotta remember to put these guys on. These are the little stops that go in the rubber stops that go on the front there, somewhere over here. Okay, I guess I'll put these down here so I don't forget them. And there we go. So anyhow, it's coming along pretty nice. I think by May 1st, I'm really hoping to have the rolling chassis and get the engine, pull the transmission off, and the what the hell is this called again? My mind is having a brain fart here. Well, anyway, that big shiny thing. Pull all that stuff off. Put the engine on the engine stand here, and then start working on the engine. Get it all ready. I've got a replacement 51 generator I bought on eBay, pretty real nice condition. I'm going to rebuild that, rebuild the starter. I've got a combination of a original early water pump, and then a new old water pump from Bill Tracy, with the bushing on the front for installing a 5-blade fan, the aluminum fan. So you got to take that to machine shop and have them put those into one unit. And anyway, that's going to be kind of fun. So I'm hoping by actually end of May, right around June 1st, I'll have the engine tranny installed on the car. And then I've got out here on the patio, I'm just finished painting some of the drums. I've got a box with stainless steel dual exhaust in there, so I'll be putting that on the car. So by the end of May, I should have all the running gear, exhaust, brakes, all that stuff on. Then I'll start working on a fuel tank over here in the corner, getting it ready. It's got some problems. Somebody tried to get this what the hell is it called, drain pipe thing loose, and tore it all up. I'm probably not going to be able to salvage that. I hate to get a new tank just for that, but I don't know what I'll do. But anyway, that's another project, to get that tank all in order. Put it on, and get whatever else I need to put on the car. And then the fun begins on the main the main body over here. It's actually a pretty decent shape. It's got a little rust pitting and whatnot, but that's easily filled. And but overall it's in pretty straight shape. I've had a lot of welding work done on it with somebody else. The guy bought it from his father did a lot of repair work on the battery covers, battery boxes, some of the other areas. Rebuilt the hinges, all brand new stuff in there. So this will be a nice thing to start with. Basically, I'm going to do the paint. All the undercarriage is going to be black, and the engine compartment's black. The trunk area will be black. The bottom of the hood will be black. The door jambs will be. I'll paint all those white. I probably won't paint the jambs, but I'll do all the undercarriage, engine compartment, etc. And then I'll. Sometime in June, I'm hoping to lift the body up and put it on the chassis, and then I'll spend the rest of the summer preparing the body for paint and getting some remaining items. I still need the wiring loom and a few big items, but I've spent most of the money so far on parts. I've actually spent about $26,000 on parts. And the original car I bought for $38,000. So do the math. These things aren't cheap to restore, but it's a labor of love. Bring this thing back to life. This will be a pleasure to drive. So it's kind of fun to do it too. I've never done a restoration from this deep, deep down with all the nuts and bolts sitting on the floor in little containers and trying to figure out what goes where. I really owe a lot of thanks to my friend Dwayne Bauer in Ojai for his help, and my friend Mike May, Worldwide Upholstery in Santa Paula. He's been a big help to me and given me a lot of his time and advice. And luckily he's got several Jags there and a couple of them and during restoration, so I go over and take pictures when I need to. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. I tend to ramble on, but just a quick update. So I'll do another one when I get farther along.